Jay Moore here from Stretford Paddock. As you can see, I'm at the Printworks. I'm outside a billboard, which is also featuring a picture of Eric Cantona, and I'm with Ian Sterling from Manchester United Supporters Trust. So, Ian, why are we outside the Printworks, and why is there a billboard, an electric billboard, with Eric Cantona's face on it?
Well, Eric has given his support, agreed to be a figurehead for the campaign for Sign for United. It's a campaign that we're running to ask fans from all over the world to get involved and get behind, to demonstrate that desire to be part of a share scheme. We're in negotiations with the club. You heard the comments from Joel Glazer at the Fans Forum, where he wants to build the biggest sports fans ownership programme in the world. We want to make sure we demonstrate that demand for that. So what we're asking for today is supporters to get behind that from all over the world. We want to build an army. We want to demonstrate that we want a different relationship with the club, and that relationship has to be as owners.
Talk about owners and fan ownership and fans getting involved. How much of a say do you feel that fans can have in the club if they get involved and, like you say, sign up for this scheme and this deal to get some fans, some shares and part ownership of the club? How much of a say can we have?
Look, for us, it's always about building a meaningful stake. It's always been about that, for supporters to have strongest voice possible and changing that relationship. The whole thing with the relationship in the past 16 years, you know, it's not been right. Supporters have felt as if they've been treated as customers. That has to change. Our most successful season ever was in 1999. I own part of the club. Lots of fans own part of the club. Supporter ownership isn't a barrier to success. The more fans who get behind this, the more fans that we have being owners and taking part in the share scheme when it is launched, the better. And then the relationship changes.
Can anyone get involved in this? You know, some fans may look at it and go, oh, you know, is this just for rich United fans to buy this? Or is this something that, you know, at a grassroots level, anyone who's a United fan who wants to get involved can do so?
It's open to everyone. We want everyone to be involved. The whole reason for us doing the share scheme is to make it accessible to supporters. You know, there's a natural barrier to buying shares on a stock exchange. There's a cost that's involved with that. We want to overcome those issues. We want to make it accessible. So if your supporter only wants to put in £10 a month, they can put in £10 a month. They only want to put in £5 a month. They take part in the scheme and they own a percentage of shares. What we want is as many people to get involved in that, be part of it, and build our meaningful stake in the club.
How important is that as part of today, that people are sort of letting you know that they're interested, letting everyone know, letting the club know that they're interested in taking part in this?
Well, this is about Eric, first of all, being at the forefront, and you couldn't get a better figurehead than Eric, really, could you, for this? We're really grateful for his support with us for this. But this is about building up a well of support. Things aren't going to happen all at once. We need to be prepared, we need to be ready for when that moment arrives for supporters to be able to make the most of that opportunity. So that's what this is about today. It's about Eric being at the forefront of it. It's about supporters showing their desire for change. I've spoken to you many times about the ownership structure changing at United and how fans will be able to have a say in the future. We're delivering that now, and this is all part of it. So join us, visit signforunited.org, sign up. There's no commitment at this point. It doesn't cost you any money, but you can show your support for a change in the ownership structure of United in the future.
You said that you've spoken a lot over the last few years. Do you feel like there is a real change now? Because there's been times when it's not looked likely. You spoke about the Fans Forum, you've had this conversation, now there's a share scheme. Do you feel like things are moving forward? Are you happy with the way things are moving forward?
Look, happy? Well, look, we all want to reach the end goal straight away. We all want that. We all want that immediate change. Is that going to happen straight away? Are we just going to have, you know, half of the club, you know, a majority stake delivered to us straight away? No, that isn't going to happen. So, I mean, someone said that used the terminology to me, how do you eat an elephant? Well, it's one mouthful at a time. And this is part of one mouthful at a time. But we have to be ready and prepared for that. Change is going to happen. We're on a totally different landscape now. The direction of travel now is about supporters holding a meaningful stake in the club. Who knows where that ends? But wherever it ends, it's in our control now. We want a successful share scheme. We're in negotiations already. A red line for us is to have equal voting rights to the Glazers shares. That's important. The funds will be used by the club. It won't go into the Glazers' pockets. These are important points. As fans, we have to take this opportunity, and this is why Eric has got behind us today with this message, and this is why we've launched Sign for United, and it's important every fan gets behind this. As I said, there's no financial commitment at this point, but when there is, we will make that accessible to everyone.
What would you say to some fans that look at it and go, listen, we want to protest, we've been down at Old Trafford, we've been letting the Glazers know we're unhappy with them, we want to continue sort of voicing our opposition to the ownership in that way. What would you say to those fans?
Well, it isn't one thing or the other. You don't have to make a choice here. If you are unhappy, it's your right to protest. There's no issue with that. There's no opposition for us with that. What we're trying to do with this is to put that alternative in place. If people feel strongly, get behind it, get behind the Sign for United. We're not opposed to people lawfully protesting. Never have been, never will be. There's a range of opinions from United fans out there. We are not against anyone's opinion. What we are for is this campaign.
Just a couple of things. How did Eric get involved? You mentioned Eric there, and obviously, there he is. As I say that, he's on the I have signed for United again, if only. But how did you get him involved in this, and why was he so keen to get involved?
I think it fits in with Eric, this. He's a man for change. He's always been a advocate for supporter culture, for United fans, his love of Manchester. I think this fits in with his ethos. He was amazingly willing very quickly when he was approached, and we're really glad to have him on board. He's a figurehead for United fans. He sums up the spirit of United fans in a lot of ways, and it's ideal having him part of this campaign for fans to get behind.
There'll be a lot of fans, myself included, will be thinking, could this be the first step towards what we all want to see eventually, just a completely fan-owned club? Do you think that maybe that could be a reality one day?
Well, let's go back to 2005 when Man United shares was around 18% of the shares held by Manchester United fans in one way or another, whether it be in a pension fund or it be as individual shares. And that built very, very quickly in 7 years, 18%. Well, we're 16 years down the line. Where would we have been now if we'd have had another 16 years on top? This is about getting on board now, showing your desire for the change, getting on board and being ready to take that opportunity when it comes along. When this share scheme is introduced, be part of it. As I say, it's going to be accessible. There's no barriers to it in terms of finances. We're in a different place now in terms of worldwide support. With the internet now, with the connectivity with social media, us being able to get our message out. If we'd had all these resources at our disposal back in 1998 with the setting up of Shareholders United, who knows where we'd be now. But we can't change that. All we can do is deal with the here and now, get involved now, get on board, be an owner of Manchester United in the future.
Sorry, there's just one final question, and it will be my final one. Last time we spoke, there was the 50+1 idea. Is that still being sort of thought about? Is that still being pushed, or is this something separate?
Well, there's lots of things in the background working with this. Look, we've still got the fan-led review. There are still issues that we're pushing there. We presented our evidence to Tracy Crouch. That was very well received. The idea of 50+1 is an aim. That's where everyone wants to get to. But it's how we reach that process. How do we reach that goal? That's what this is about today. It's about people showing their support for us to be able to reach that. We all want what's best for Manchester United. We all want what's best for the club. We believe having supporters at the heart of it is going to protect the club. We're not in it for our own financial gain. We don't want to make a profit of these shares. We don't want to trade these shares. We want to own them. We've got an emotional tie with those shares, not a financial tie. This is a part of the journey to where we want to be, protecting the club. We never want to be in the position of a leveraged takeover again. We never want to have our shares compulsory purchase again. It's about protecting the club and protecting the future of Manchester United.
Ian, thanks a lot. You heard it there. Protecting the club, protecting the future of Manchester United. You can get involved. There's a link in the description there so you can see what all this is about. let us know your thoughts as well. Don't forget as well to check out Must all over the socials. I won't ask him for the Twitter handle, I'm sure he knows it, but you can find Manchester United Supporters Trust online, and make sure you're subscribing to the channel as well. This has been Ian Sterling from Manchester United Supporters Trust. I've been Jay Motti. This has been all about, well, he's not there anymore, but Eric Cantona backing a campaign to re-sign for United. Thanks for watching.